My parents planned a ski trip to celebrate my wedding. My fiancé said, "Do you not know she's in a wheelchair? I've used a wheelchair since I was 8 years old, and my family has spent the last 17 years pretending that's not true." We were all in the car when it happened. A truck ran a red light and hit us on my side. My parents walked away with bruises. My brother Corbin broke his arm and was fine in 6 weeks. I never walked again. Before the accident, our family vacations were normal, but after everything changed. The first vacation after was a skiing trip to Colorado because Corbin wanted to learn. I sat in the lodge for 5 days watching my family through the window. When I asked why we couldn't do something I could participate in, my mom said, "We can't punish Corbin for your accident, sweetheart." I was 10 years old and it wasn't my accident. I was just the only one who didn't get to walk away from it. The next year was a hiking trip to Yellowstone. The trails weren't accessible, so I stayed at the cabin with a babysitter while Corbin saw Old Faithful. I got postcards from the gift shop. This became the pattern for 18 years. Whitewater rafting in Utah, and I waited at the campsite. Ziplining in Costa Rica, and I read books at the hotel. Backpacking through Europe, and they said the cobblestones would be too hard on my chair, so I stayed home completely. I begged one time for a trip I could actually do. I asked to go to New York City because the museums and Broadway shows and restaurants are all accessible. My mom wrinkled her nose and said, "That's not really a vacation. That's just walking around a city." Corbin wanted to go rock climbing in Arizona, so that's what we did, and I sat at the base of the mountain for 4 days watching my family disappear up the rocks. I stopped asking after that and learned to say I was a homebody who preferred staying in. I met my fiancé Devin 3 years ago, and he's the first person who ever planned anything around what I can do. Our first trip together, he researched every restaurant and hotel and activity for accessibility before we left. I cried when I realized what he was doing because nobody had ever thought about me like that. Our wedding is coming up, and my parents announced they wanted to plan a celebration trip. I was cautiously hopeful because I thought maybe for my wedding they'd finally consider me. Last week they revealed the plan, and it was a ski trip to a cabin in Vermont. 5 days of skiing to celebrate my marriage. The cabin has stairs with no ramp. The nearest accessible restaurant is 40 minutes away. Corbin is thrilled because he hasn't been skiing in 2 years. I sat there realizing my wedding celebration was just another vacation for my brother. Devin asked how I was supposed to get into the cabin. My mom waved her hand and said the boys could carry me up the stairs. Devin's face went still and I put my hand on his arm because I knew that look. I whispered that it was fine and that I was used to it. He asked what exactly I was used to and I didn't answer. He turned to my parents and asked how many family vacations I'd actually been able to participate in. My mom looked confused and said I came on all of them. Coming and participating aren't the same thing. How many trips have you planned around things she can actually do? Silence. My dad said they couldn't plan everything around my disability because that wouldn't be fair to Corbin. Devin's voice got quiet. Not fair to Corbin? She sat in hotel rooms and lodges for 18 years while you planned every trip around what he wanted. And now for her wedding celebration, you're taking her to a cabin she can't physically enter so he can go skiing? Corbin said he didn't ask for this trip and not to blame him. Devin turned to him. "Did you ever once say, hey, maybe we should do something my sister can enjoy? Even once in 18 years? Corbin had no answer. My mom said I never complained and that I always said I liked staying behind. Devin shook his head. "She stopped complaining because you made it clear her needs didn't matter. There's a difference between being okay with something and giving up." My mom turned to me and asked if that was true. I felt tears building. I just wanted one trip that was about me. In 18 years. Just one. My dad said I was being dramatic. Devin stood up. "We're done here. We're not coming on this trip." My mom asked if we were really going to skip the celebration over this. Devin grabbed my hand. "We're going to have our own celebration in New York City where she's wanted to go her entire life. You're welcome to join us if you can handle a trip that isn't about Corbin for once." We walked out and Devin booked 5 nights in New York for our honeymoon instead. Accessible hotel, Broadway tickets, reservations at restaurants I'd always dreamed about. I cried the entire time. My parents went skiing with Corbin instead. Devin's family flew out to celebrate with us, and it was the best trip of my life.